We have here a 13-minute video from Fateless that dropped overnight, again, as usual. And they always drop when I'm asleep because of the time zone difference. Important alpha update and pre-alpha gameplay. Sounds like it's going to be a great video. I'm excited about Godforge Alpha. I really want to see what Simon has to say in terms of an update to the alpha build and to get to see some of this pre-alpha gameplay. So let's crack into the video and I will give my reactions as we go along.
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. So I want to give you guys a bit of an update on what we're doing for Alpha, when we're looking to do it. I really wanted in this video to say this is the exact date for Alpha. We're not quite there, even though we know the planned date and that's not changed.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to be able to say with 100% certainty, yes, this is the date and this is the wave that you guys are going to be in. So next Tuesday, I will release information. This is the plan with the exact dates. You'll get an email as well as a video talking about the dates and the wave structure. And yeah, so it's a little bit later than I wanted to be able to tell you, but we had a sort of senior leadership meeting yesterday. And honestly, the team are cranking as hard as they can to make sure that we deliver the best possible experience. I'm going to show you kind of what the general flow of the game is feeling like right now. So
nice.
On PC, the game feels great. Okay, it feels really good. There's still some bugs and stuff, but it really has got a good flow. I test the game on my iPhone. I test the game on my Android phone, and I test the game on my Mac and PC basically daily. And I do a report. The QA team do the same sort of thing. And the PC feels great. The Android feels good, but inconsistent. For example, yesterday I had a really good flow of gameplay on the Android. Today, I don't have any heroes. Okay, so there's like fundamental bugs which occur as we're carrying on, like fixing other bugs or developing things. So it's just the nature of game design, unfortunately.
Yep. Bugs happen.
The iPhone is further behind, and the reason for that is generally Apple need you to accommodate a much lower memory for iPhone devices, and we're just not in that full optimization zone yet where we're able to do it. So, you know, they're the type of challenges we've got, and as I say, I just want to be really honest with you guys and communicate as much as I can around where we're at. So yeah,
fair enough.
Expect next Tuesday a kind of like bigger update with actual dates, and then following that an email to you guys to say which wave you are in. But yeah, as far as the actual planned date, which we're aiming for, nothing has changed yet, but we just want to make sure that we're 100% solid before we tell you what that date is.
Of course.
But yeah, we're still aiming for back end of July to be able to start this. So, what's going on? The game, as I've said in the last couple of weeks, we've basically been going screen by screen, critiquing it, making sure that it feels good, changing user flow where we need to. So I'm going to take you through what that user flow looks like for building out heroes, for doing things like weapons, imprints, and going into a battle. And I can show you a lot of the different things which have happened. Now, as of Thursday, tomorrow actually, we basically have got we have to do this, by the way, and this is normal for like alpha releases. We have a cutoff where we say, okay, low and lowest priority bugs, we're no longer going to touch those.
Right.
Only medium, high, and critical bugs will now be
especially
touched.
critical.
And actually, as of Friday, we've got like a content lock. So although some screens are still being like finalized, they need to be finalized by Friday, or they won't be touched again before alpha. Because the more you put things into the build, the more you've got a chance to break something else or to have bugs somewhere else. So there's a whole bunch of stuff like that which we're kind of like setting out a frame for. So yeah, tomorrow, low and lowest bugs will not be touched. An example, this is a very loose example. There's a good chance Guinevere here is still going to be showing some leg in the alpha. Yeah. Right? Because it's a really low priority bug, and the dev team need to be working on things like optimization,
absolutely,
the game feel, all of that type of stuff, so that when you play the alpha, it feels good. Now, for some people, they'll be like, damn, HH and the crew at Fateless don't care about clipping. That is not the truth, okay? We do care.
That's not
However,
true.
For alpha, we have to care less.
Exactly.
And that's just the reality of where we're at. So they're the type of things, just so you know, some things we just have to tolerate, and some things as well are not the final design. Okay, so if we look at, let's just take the Green Knight here, because these are mainly specced out. If we look at something like, I don't know, upgrading a piece of gear. I've now got some more obvious icons for gear sets, by the way, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so if we go into enhance this piece of gear, you can see I've got some funkiness going on. Yeah. For some reason here, don't know why that is. Okay, these are the type of bugs that would be a medium priority bug. I do want that fixed before the alpha. Good. Yeah, so you can see here, if I go to level 4 and upgrade this piece, we have like a success animation, or VFX, I guess. It's in there to give you a feel, but it's probably not the final asset. Okay, so stuff like that is kind of where we're at. It's just the reality of progress. We want you to get a base like experience of what we're doing. The VFX guys have put something in to make sure that it feels cool. We've got enhancement of gear working. Excellent. And the stats go up as we want them to. I don't want them to go all the way back and then come all the way up. Yeah, that's probably a low priority bug, because the functionality works, it just doesn't follow through in the way that we want it to right now. But anyway, we can enhance a piece of gear. I can equip the gear and it moves over. Nice. I can then actually say, well, hold on a minute, maybe if I just want to see what this piece of gear feels like compared to that one, I could go in there and take that one up as well. I could do a bunch of other gear leveling, and I could be just like comparing this piece of gear to the one that I've got on and deciding if it's actually an improvement. I can have them side by side just to make sure that the numbers are actually true. And I can already see, like even here, talking to you guys, I can see another bug. It's saying to me that putting this piece of gear on, this is what I'm doing literally all day.
Initiative goes up by 10.
It's just like finding stuff like this. I can see that, yes, I will gain 30 speed. Yes, I will gain initiative. And I'll gain 59 attack. But actually, the reality is, if I equip this, I'm going to lose all of these stats. Yeah, so it's not telling me the difference. It's just telling me what this piece of gear would do if I was to equip it over the top of that piece of gear. So that's literally a bug I'm going to report once I've finished recording this video.
That's pretty massive.
That's the type of stuff we're doing right now. Just making sure that any of these panels make a lot of sense to our players, and we're able to build that stuff out. I can equip a weapon. So we've got the Aten of Ra here. Why is it of Ra? It's because Ra has been imprinted into this weapon, and I will get this passive ability for my hero. So if I was to look at my abilities right now, you can see I've got one passive. It's actually locked because I need to ascend this guy. In fact, let's just quickly go on. Well, I'll show you what I was going to show you. So you can see that I've got one passive. If I equip basically the Aten of Ra, which is giving me a weapon implicit, and then now a passive because I've imprinted someone onto it. I can then go into my abilities, and suddenly I've got a second passive, which is the Ra passive I've just picked up. So stuff like that is all working, but we just need to update a few things. I could go in and upgrade my abilities, and this screen has been sort of remodeled a bit to try and make it have a better user flow. And again, things like this are working, albeit this is interesting actually, because this again is something I've not seen before. This passive, I think, is the weapon passive, which should not be able to be leveled up. And you can see I've gained too many levels there. So again, that's something which how many levels did I do the right amount of levels? I wonder if it does that again. Yeah, the game's basically now broken, so it's like, hold on, I don't know what I've just done. So stuff like that, it's all things that we're finding right now to make sure that we improve them. Screens like this are going to be improved completely. And things like leveling heroes up is working, and we've got like a spirit system for overflow of like food type of champs that works. So yeah, lots honestly to do, but most of the functionality is kind of like 95% there, I would say, in terms of allowing you guys to play and test the game. But you can see here, literally in how long have I been recording for? 10 minutes. I've spotted about 6 bugs in terms of some of the things that we've implemented. Like and that's basically why we don't want to, and this is on the build which is like most stable, right? So that's the reality of game dev, honestly, as you're working your way up to an alpha. We have things like the smithy, where I can enhance my weapon. So we've got a blood sword here. I can refine the weapon. And then if I had another copy, I would be able to also rank up the weapon. I can see there's no imprint on it, so I could literally go in to the weapon imprints and say, right, well, I want to imprint it with the Minotaur here. So he's going to give us a chance, increased chance to strong hit by 10% when at full divinity. I can imprint the weapon and get that success there with an imprinted piece.
Cool.
For some reason we keep getting battle coming up, which should say continue.
Yeah.
So loads of of stuff like this, right? It's laughable, but it's the reality. In my library, I can go and extract an imprint from a hero that I don't want anymore, and it will tell me what that imprint will be, and it will extract, and then that will now belong in my library. All of the sorting is being done, all of that stuff, like all of the finesse really, which you need to be able to enjoy the game. And if we go into the caverns here, I could go and fight enemy waves. I'll bring the Green Knight because he is now super powerful, and then I don't know if
you noticed that, but it said Kevin of Chaos when he first went into it, and now it says Kevin's of Chaos. So interesting, the inconsistency there. And a lot of bugs, of course. There are all these bugs that they're working through as furiously as they can. And one can only hope that by the time Alpha drops, some of the more significant bugs, or at least game-breaking bugs, are going to be fixed. But a lot of those ones that he mentioned are sort of medium-level bugs that are not going to make or break the game. If you can see that, hey, it's not actually comparing my gear, just do it in your head. It is just the Alpha. There are going to be a lot of inconsistencies and things that just need to be worked on still.
Got a couple of slots. Let's bring a couple. In fact, I'd love to show you. We did put this out yesterday, but I just want to show you Pangu. She's so badass. Actually, yeah, worth saying as well. Things like auras are working, stuff like that.
Oh, it's their aura.
Yeah, so
that's what that icon is.
So cool. So we've got new maps in. Again, the lighting pass is not done on the maps yet. The textures are not finalized on the maps. Smoke's a bit out of control. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff which is now our like polish phase in this next few weeks before you guys get involved that we just want to do. I could see, for example, hero lighting works, albeit it's a bit shiny, but it works. It works. It is not working on Isolde. Okay, I could see it, and because I've been doing all this testing, I know that this is now again another thing to report, right? So various things like this just super important, because what it does is although as a player you're not entirely sure what's wrong, but you know that you can notice that something doesn't feel right, and all these things combine to actually become a much different experience when you get like the actual experience. Again, we're giving you guys access to an alpha, which is not meant to be the finished game, right? So
exactly,
there will be an element of that in the final piece that you guys, or in the piece that you guys try anyway, but it shouldn't be as noticeable as what we're seeing here. So we get the Pangu smack coming in, which is super sweet. I think that's going to do for today. Loads going on. I really want to just say, like, the Fateless team are working extremely hard, and they're doing a really bloody great job. Like they're working crazy hours. They're putting it in. They're really trying to deliver the best possible experience. And we just need to respect that, you know, we want to put out the best possible final piece for you. So, you know, whether that means we have to hold off a little bit longer, it's unfortunate. It's not what we want to do, but it is the reality of game design. Whoa, anyway, nice. There you go, guys. I've been Simon from Fateless, and I'll see you real soon.
It was cool to see a little bit of gameplay. I was expecting a little bit more gameplay because it is called Alpha Update and Pre-Alpha gameplay. Not so much in the gameplay sense, but we did get to see that he pointed out the lighting issue and just ongoing stuff. Really good to hear that the team is putting in 100%. Of course they are, right? Of course the team is putting in so many hours and so much effort, not just to overcome these bugs that are constantly being raised, but just to raise the bar of the game in its alpha stage and work on just so many elements. Very cool to see how far the game has come in the last few months. Now, bugs aside, it's looking good. It is definitely looking good. And get hyped, get pumped, get ready for the alpha. I don't have anything else to actually add to this. It was really good that he was able to showcase on the fly some of the things that are just not going according to plan, that just don't quite work, that something is glitching or broken behind the scenes in the coding or in the way that the code talks to other code or whatever the case may be. I don't understand all the developer side of stuff. It is going to be great no matter what state the game is in when the alpha Kevins do come, the Kevins of Chaos, or Kevin of Chaos as it might be. That was just a silly little pedantic thing that I raised there. Anyway, that is everything that I have in terms of recording this video on stream.